They call themselves San Diego's first fruit wine company. Come along as we find out how these two young brothers took a dream and turned it into a business they are passionate about.
All it took was a sip of wine.
My wheels started turning. I think Alan's wheels started turning, and we said, wow, you know what? This is good. Let's run with this. I think it has potential.
A swallow of sweetness that would be the first taste to their success. The wine they tasted was fruit wine, made just like regular wine, but instead of using grapes, it's made with other types of fruit.
Our business partners, Bobby and Devin, they had been making the wine for 5 or 6 years as a hobby. A lot of people in the area are doing brewing their own beer and making their own wine, and they had been doing that. When they came over one day and brought some of the wine they made, we're like, what is this? Like, oh, it's plum wine. We're like, wow, that is good.
After the idea sprouted, the twin brothers began building their winery business from the ground up.
Coming into this whole thing, we didn't have any suppliers in place. We didn't have an idea about who to approach for labeling. We didn't have the labels designed. We didn't have a website. We didn't have anything. So really, at every stage, it's taken all of our effort.
And while there were challenges and fights along the way,
and watermelon, you kind of think you want a crisper type of a wine. I would say more crisp, probably. Or more crisp, not sure. Grammar. Thanks, Al.
The brothers thrived, thanks in part to their undying perseverance.
I never really lost hope, and even today, if this entire winery burned to the ground, I'd try it all over again. There's no such thing as failure. It's always a stepping stone. So I don't think there was any point where we have said so far, man, I'm not sure if this is a good idea. I think we just strengthen our resolve and go after it more. And I don't think there's been a point where we've considered throwing in the towel.
2 years later, the California Fruit Wine Company was born. Notably, the first fruit wine company in San Diego. And they want to keep it that way.
We want to prioritize North County in particular because that's where we grew up. We grew up in Vista Oceanside, went to school at Rancho Buena Vista High School. We're North County kids. Our friends, when they go out to Carlsbad. So we're trying to prioritize getting into retailers, getting into restaurants in North County. So Oceanside's a part of that. Vista's a part of that. Carlsbad, Escondido. We're going directly to consumers. We're at farmers markets. And we hope to be in Oceanside's farmer market by fall. The latest.
Their company offers 4 types of wines at the moment: peach, plum, cherry, and their bestseller, strawberry. But the brothers like to experiment with different fruits that could potentially work as a wine. Watermelon is their latest test trial. And I wouldn't be a serious journalist if I didn't investigate deeper into this story. And of course, taste test how fruit wine compares to grape wine.
That's very good. And it's interesting because it doesn't taste, grape wine doesn't taste like grapes
exactly
either, but this just tastes like wine.
It tastes like wine.
It just tastes like wine.
With the hint of
with
the
a
fruit.
Hint of fruit.
That's what I always tell people. It really is more wine than fruit juice or, something they would consider to be fruity. But it's fruity, it's just not, overly fruity. It's literally wine made from that fruit, so it's going to have the same wine characteristics.
In the end, not much different than grape wine and definitely worth the taste. While these entrepreneurs are young, other people interested in starting up a business in a failing economy can learn a couple things from these guys.
Most people, especially people who went to college, when they think about their future, their career, they think about working for somebody. So whether that be for a corporation or whether that be at the local McDonald's, it's an employment situation. Well, when you're employed by someone, there's a lack of innovation, there's a lack of ingenuity, there's a lack of progress. So part of what's missing in our culture is that entrepreneurial spirit that innovates and creates something new and lasting. It's no longer about making a living or becoming rich or any of that stuff. It's about doing something you enjoy. And guess what? When you're doing something that you're passionate about, you're going to put in 16 hours a day because it's not a burden on you. You want to do it. You like it. And so that's so much of what it means to find out what's in your heart and then bring it forth.
And with their eye on the prize, these boys are dreaming big on the future of their company.
Short-term goal, move into a place with tasting room, nice setting, maybe even have some food. Be associated as one of the best well-known San Diego wineries.
I think we can toast to that. For Inside Oceanside, I'm Elena Gomez.